I going wrong there, Juan?
Well, actually, I hate to say this to you because I don't want to get your ego going, but I think you're right. I think, look, political correctness can lead to some kind of paralysis where you don't address reality. I mean, look, Bill, I'm not a bigot. You know the kind of books I've written about the civil rights movement in this country. But when I get on a plane, I got to tell you, if I see people who are in Muslim garb, and I think, you know, they're identifying themselves first and foremost as Muslims, I get worried. I get nervous. Now, I remember also that when that Times Square bomber was at court, I think this is just last week, he said the war with Muslims, America's war with, is just beginning, first drop of blood. I don't think there's any way to get away from these facts, but I think there are people who want to somehow remind us all, as President Bush did after 9/11, it's not a war against Islam. President Bush went to a mosque to
Well, there isn't any theology involved in this at all from my perspective, Juan. But you live in the liberal precincts. Yeah, you actually work for NPR, okay?
Yes.
And it's not about it's about politics, as I said. But my analysis is that this Israel thing and that liberals feel that the United States is somehow guilty in the world of exploitation and backing the wrong side, and it makes it easier for them to come up with this kind of crazy stuff that, well, you can't really say the Muslims attacked us on 9/11.
No, but what Barbara Walters said to you...
Norwegians? I mean, come on.
No, but what? Wait a second. No, wait, hold on. Because if you said, wait, Timothy McVeigh, the Atlanta bomber, these people who are protesting against homosexuality at military funerals, very obnoxious, you don't say first and foremost, we got a problem with Christians. That's crazy.
But it's not at that level. It doesn't rise near to that level.
And when you said in the Talking Points memo a moment ago that there are good Muslims, I think that's a point. You know,
but everybody knows that, Juan. I mean, what are we in third grade here, or what?
No, you don't. But you've got to be careful. This is what Barbara Walters was saying.
I got to be careful. You just said it. I got to be careful. I have to qualify everything 50 times. You know what, Juan? I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing it anymore.
But
I will say, Muslim terrorists,
responsibility.
but I'm not going to say, oh, it's only a few. It's only a tiny bit. It's not, Juan. It's whole nations. Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, whole nations. Go ahead, Mary Catherine. You want to get in here.
First of all, the left only thinks that you should be careful with rhetoric in dangerous times when it's a right-winger using the rhetoric. When they're doing it themselves, when it deals with other issues, they don't care. So there's a double standard there. Second of all, there's a distinction worth making between moderate and extremist Islam, as you have made that point in the Talking Points, because frankly, as a conservative, if anybody who believes in the mission in Iraq, where you're building up a society of moderate Muslims to push back on extremists, you have to believe in that distinction. So I think that's important to make. But this whole getting up and running off set because you don't use the distinction in every single sentence you say, I think was ridiculous and immature, and they stopped the conversation, not you. It was them freaking out about a conservative position and leaving the stage that stopped the conversation.
Here's the deal. Angela Merkel, all right, in the politically correct nation of Germany, Germany has gone from being a militaristic society to a politically correct society in a generation, okay? Angela Merkel comes out today and says, you know what? This is out of control in our country. We can't control it anymore. So if there's only a few and a couple and just in the mountains of Pakistan, that's all, why is Angela Merkel having such a hard time? Why are the French banning burqas? You know, why does
say something?
You know, come on.
Because they have a problem because people have stopped emphasizing, and she went on to say this integration, assimilation. People say, oh, you can just live side by side. That was wrong-headed, and because she sees it as a threat, I think she pointed out that 2 of every 3 or so children under the age of 5 in Germany
Who is causing the problem in Germany? Is it the Muslims who have come there or the Germans?
Absolutely.
Who's causing the problem?
I think, no, wait. You see, you did it again. It's extremists. It's people who refuse to assimilate into German society. They're the ones that are causing that problem.
According to Merkel, it's not extremists. It's most of the 5 million Muslims who have come there aren't assimilating. That's the problem that she sees.
Also, what happens, Bill, also what happens is that when moderate Muslims want to assimilate or want to stand up, they run the risk of being blown up by their co-religionists who are extreme. So that's a threat that moderate Christians and moderate Jews don't face.
But that hasn't happened in America, where most Muslim Americans have
and that's
assimilated.
Partly because our society demands that people assimilate. That's what we demand, and that's why it works here.
But Bill, here's the caution point. The other day in New York, some guy cuts a Muslim cabbie's neck and says he's attacking him. Or you think about the protest at the mosque near ground
that guy
zero.
worked at a liberal religious
he was a crackpot.
I don't care who he is.
place.
Look,
I mean,
Americans are smart enough to know, Juan.
but I don't think the point is
Even
the
if-
rhetoric was not pushing him to do that.
I don't know what's in that guy's head, but I'm saying we don't want in America people to have their rights violated, to be attacked on the street because they hear rhetoric from Bill O'Reilly and they act crazy.
Okay.
We got to say to people, as
That guy
Bill is
wasn't
saying
pushing.
tonight, that guy's a nut.
He is a nut. And I said
Right.
that about the guy in Florida who was wanting to burn a Koran. I came down on him
Correct.
like crazy.
There you go.
But I'll tell you what, if there was going to be a backlash against Muslims, it would have happened after 9/11. Didn't happen in this country.
Didn't happen in this
Did not
country.
happen here. So we are smart enough to understand who the good Muslims are and who the bad Muslims are. But to diminish the whole thing, as the left wants to do, very dangerous. I got to go, guys, as always.
That would be hypocrisy.
All right. Thank you very much.